guys, Christine with Sassy Southern Home. Thank you so much for watching as always. If you're a new subscriber or if you're a returning person but you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you be part of my community. I do post weekly. Sometimes it's not the same day of the week, but I do post weekly. So hit that notification bell so you'll know when my posts are up. As always, thumbs up, likes are great, and any comments I will respond to. This week is going to be Pottery Barn Dupes on decor on the cheap. So you'll want to keep watching so you can get those high-end looks for so much less. All right, guys, let's get crafting. So our inspo number 1 from Pottery Barn was this faux succulent wall art listed for $399. Now ours is not going to be as large. Of course you can make it as small or large as you want, but I had in my supplies these round canvases. I think I got these from Five Below. And so I'm going to use one of these just because I like the round. And I bought 11 different succulents. Well, they're not all different, but I bought 11 total from Dollar Tree. Now, if you want it fuller with the succulents, of course, buy more. And if you've got a large canvas, you're going to have to buy a good bit more of the succulents. But I bought 11. And what I'm going to do is just kind of arrange them how I want them to sit. And then I took my X-Acto knife and I kind of indented where I want it to go, and then used the X-Acto knife to cut a small hole in the canvas, poke them through. Now, after I got through poking them, some of them I had to flip over to canvas and either cut the bottoms, or you could see this one, I actually took the whole bottom out because it was very hard to cut. So I took the whole bottom out and just hot glued it down. So stuck those in my canvas, or either hot glued them or did both. Then I had some ivy in my stash, and I'm going to use this and just cut off bits of it and glue it into the blank spaces of my canvas to fill it in. Like I say, if you want to use all succulents, you're just going to have to keep in mind that it's going to take a good bit, because these from Dollar Tree, they're not very thick. They have some sparse places in between the leaves or the petals, whatever you call them on succulents. So I think you're going to have to use a filler anyhow, but ivy would work well. And you can get some, this probably came from Hobby Lobby, but you can get some from Dollar Tree as well. Then when I got through, I wanted to use nautical rope just to dress up the edges. So I'm just going to place my nautical rope and hot glue it down all the way around the side. And then once I did that, I could find out where there was some more blank spaces and add in whatever more ivory that I needed. And I kind of wanted the ivy going over the edge. I just like that look, just to fill it in all good. So you'll see me taking some more ivy and just hot gluing it down, because I didn't want any of the white of the canvas to show. And you could actually paint the background of the canvas, maybe a neutral green or something. But anyhow, this is it completed. And then I'll show you all the projects in the end, how I styled them. And project number 2. My inspo from Pottery Barn are what they call mango wood contentment beads. And they were listed for $99. Yes, $99 for beads. And they had a stone on the end. So you'll see I've got my package of beads I've used a couple of times on different videos. And I bought a little pack of stones from Hobby Lobby. And these were some little clasps that I have. They're just round. They don't have a little pointed end to them, a stick to them or anything. But my thought was, once I picked out my stone, was to take my drill and just kind of drill a little slot and hot glue and E6000 That held very temporarily. That did not hold. Super glue would hold. I don't know. So anyhow, I end up ditching the hot glue idea later. But so I'm just going to empty out my beads, and I've got my sisal rope again. Oh, I had this silica pack in there, and then I had one white painted bead in there for some odd reason, but it must be from prior project. But I got my sisal rope, and I did 3 small to 1 large, and just keep repeating that over and over again until you get the length that you wanted. And I wanted this kind of long. And then what you're going to do is, once you get the length, you're going to double it over, tie your ends, and leave some extra on the end. You're gonna need some extra left over. So what I'm doing now is taking my sisal rope again, and I am going to use it to make a tassel for the bottom. And I've got I believe this is the 4x6 cardboard from a picture frame, and it works perfect for tassels. It just happens to be a good length for them. So I wrapped it about 25 to 30 times. Just keep in mind, if you're using this sisal rope, that it is hard to cut. You pretty much have to cut one string at the time. But I'm just going to cut it off the cardboard, one end of it. And I cut some more sisal rope for my tie. So when you're making these tassels, you just want to make a little head to it. You want to loop it over, have a little head part of it. Take your sisal rope or whatever you're using to tie it off with, and wrap it a couple times, tie it real tight, and then I'll even come back with another piece and wrap it and then hot glue that down. Then when you get through with that, you want to cut the ends as even as possible. It's kind of hard with this sisal rope because it has a mind of its own. It's a natural element, so it kind of goes its own ways, but cut it as even as possible. Now, if you were using a yarn or a different type of thread, you could comb it and make it fuller. Sisal rope, you just kind of have to leave it as is, but I like it for the natural. And then they had I guess they were using probably jutes, and theirs was a natural element. So we're trying to get as close as possible. And then what you're going to do is take your stone. So my idea didn't work. I tried it. I even tied it on there, and then the little metal pieces came right off the stone. So what I ended up doing was, I had enough rope. I just tied it around the stone 2 or 3 times, tied it real tight, and then I used hot glue to help hold that down, and that actually did work. And then you want a piece of the string to tie around your tassel as well. Now when I tie, I like to hot glue these down once I tie these as well too. So you're just going to see me cutting off the excess, and then you're going to see me trimming up the bottom as well. So if you had a different kind of setup, like if you had a class from like jewelry or something that had an end to it, that would work to drill into this, and then either I don't think hot glue is going to hold onto a stone. It's just too slick, but maybe super glue would hold. But like I say, this didn't hold, so you'll see I ditched that whole idea and just tied it around the stone, and then had a piece to tie around my tassel. And that seemed to work fine. It's going to hold like that anyhow. You might have to go every once in a while if you move this around a good bit, and just make sure that it's on your stone, because part of it wanted to keep coming off, but it did work. And then you'll see where I've got the extra to tie my tassel off. And I'm just finishing up here, and then this is our finished project. inspo number 3 are these decorative jute balls, and there was a set of 3 for $199. Now I got my nautical rope here, and you could have used the jute looking, but I liked this cream color, and for my smaller one, you'll see I do use the jute. But I'm using the cream color, and it took, I think it was 3 that it took. These are from Dollar Tree. The styrofoam ball I got from Hobby Lobby, and I think it was either $2.49 or $3.49. I don't know. I thought it was kind of high, but it is a large styrofoam ball. So, and I'm only going to do 2. You can definitely do 3, but I only did 2 for the project to show you different styles of what I thought about. So, you're going to use lots of hot glue. And I've got these floral pins that I use. You could use push pins, sewing pins, whatever you've got. But I'm going to take my nautical rope, wrap one around the ball, and I'm going to use the push pins on the ends to hold it in place. Now, I wanted the first 3 to be loose, because you're going to see on the next 3, I'm going to go underneath. But I did all of it loose just until I wanted to make sure, wasn't sure if I was going to go over or under, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So just use the push pins, keep all of it loose. When you come back in the end, you're going to pull it tight, or you may not have to if you've run a couple underneath, and then you're going to hot glue, remove all your pins. So the next 3, I'm going to run in the opposite direction. And what I did was just take the first one, put it in the middle, then you're going to see me running it underneath, and that's why you want it loose, and then running it to the side to meet up. And I'm not going to go over, I'm just going to go to the side, cut it, and then I'm going to run 2 more, one on either side, and of course pin those down. And then my next 3, I'm going to go in the opposite direction, and I'll go over my yarn. And then I had to use a couple of pieces, small pieces, just to fill in the ball. It was kind of hard to judge how many I could do, but so I'm just wrapping, using these pins, pinning it down, and then you'll come back, remove the pins, and hot glue everything. And then the only thing about this cream colored yarn is when you cut the ends, it does want to kind of fray up some. So I just hot glued all that down and pushed it in and under the rope as much as I could. And I really liked it. So this is the finished piece of that. Now, the smaller one, the larger was a lot easier just because you don't have as much surface to work with on here, and it was kind of hard moving the string around. But I wanted to do something different, so I'm using the natural nautical rope, and I'm using the cream colored. But on the cream, since the ball is smaller, I separated it, so you had the 3 strand, two strands, 3 strands, I can't remember. Anyhow, I separated it. So, and again, you're going to use all these push pins, and you're going to go over, under, however you want it, and I did it in sets of 3 again. So just keep wrapping however you want it, and then in the end, again, this cream colored rope did fray a good bit towards the end, so you're just gonna, I took like my scissors and even my floral wire cutters and just pushed them down, hot glued it real good. You're going to use a bunch of hot glue on the ends here. So you'll see now I'm going back to the natural and just trying to figure out what pattern I want for it. And just keep wrapping until you filled in your spaces. And again, I had to use a couple of the cream colored just to tuck in and fill in all the spaces of the styrofoam ball. And the larger ball, again, was a lot easier to do than the smaller one. The smaller one really tried me. You can see there on my table, I've got little pieces of that cream all over the place. Last inspo was what Pottery Barn called Sunny Handwoven Basket Wall Art. Now, this ranged in price from $249 to $499. A single piece was $249. Then you could get a set of 2, a set of 3. I'm only going to do one. And I got this little plate from the party section, I'm pretty sure is where these are at Dollar Tree. My nautical rope, because I don't want it real thick, I am going to split it. So you're going to have 3 strands off of whatever one strand you cut. So I'm just going to go and split. I'm not sure how much rope I used. I'm not sure if I even used a whole one because I decided instead of adding the little triangles or whatever to it that I was going to add some of that cream rope around the edges for something different. So to start, find your center or as center as you can, put your hot glue down, and then you're going to roll around into a ball and you're going to keep rolling. Now I will tell you, if you do this project, I found it easiest to just run a small bead of glue, and sometimes I really just wouldn't wrap it around in the circle. The glue, I kind of went out a little bit and caught the rope as I was pulling it in, if that makes sense. You just don't want a whole lot of this hot glue to show, because then you got to go back and try to pull that off of your nautical rope. So you want as little hot glue as possible on there, and it's not going to take a whole lot to adhere it to this plastic anyhow. So just keep wrapping and going around in the circle until you can definitely fill all of your plate up with this, and then go back and paint your little triangles on it if you want to, whatever design you wanted to, just have it all the natural nautical. But like I said, I went about to the edge of the design on the plate and then used the cream color to finish it out. But whatever you use, go to the very edge of the plate. Now that meant that once I got that far, it kind of set over the edge a little bit, but you want to cover up all that plastic plate, and then your last little rope, just hot glue a little piece to the back. Now you can hang it. I didn't hang mine, I just propped mine, but you could definitely hang it. You could hot glue some extra nautical rope to the back. You could even hot glue a picture hanging, little picture hanger to the back of it and hang it that way. But I just propped mine up. I might come back and do the picture hanger, but for right now, I just propped it up. Now for this cream rope, because it does want to curl because it was all wrapped around, so I just pulled it kind of tight to hot glue it down. And you can see I'm finishing up here and gluing that little extra piece to the back. Well, that's just taking me a long time to glue that extra piece to the back. But that's what I'm doing. Not sure what we're on there, but so once you get that done, unless you want to hang a hanger on it, this is our finished project. And then I'm going to clean up what hot glue I can see. And these are all the projects styled. And these are just great looking natural decor for your home. And I think these probably fit any style aesthetic that you may have. To me, it's a little boho, even a little farmhouse, and then just natural, traditional, I guess you would say. But to me, I think they pretty much fit any type decor. And my little succulent wall art, I actually hung over a mirror. So it could stand alone or over a mirror. And I think that's a great look. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much.